Sophie Cunningham is going viral right now for a TikTok video she made.
Sophie Cunningham gets fined $500 by Kathy Angle Brain
for making this slick TikTok.
$500 is absolutely hilarious.
Once more, the WNBA has gone too far.
Sophie Cunningham actually posted this herself, stating, "I got fined $500 for this TikTok."
Sophie Cunningham reveals she's fined $500.
One of the few people with the guts to speak up, Sophie Cunningham, was recently fined $500 for exposing the league's appalling refereeing.
Fans, they're responding to this video because she's calling out WNBA officiating, WNBA refs,
all the while defending Caitlin Clark. Fans are enraged. Please leave a 100% in the comments section right now if you completely agree with Caitlin Clark and think she deserves better. Let's begin.
Cunningham criticized some refs by describing them as stupid, slow, and useless. Damn!
Sophie Cunningham didn't mince words, and the WNBA wasted no time in disciplining her.
Put at some refs. Stupid, slow, useless. Oh my goodness, man.
Indiana Fever guard Sophie Cunningham said the WNBA fined her $500, sent criticizing the league's officiating.
If you guys don't remember what happened in this game, in the Sun game, right before this, she got chucked out of bounds and the referee just stared and watched. And then she got elbowed in the face 2 possessions later and the referees just watched.
Sophie got struck in the face while playing a recent game.
Sophie got hit in the back of the head with the elbow, right? Ref looking right at it, didn't do a thing, didn't say a thing, was shaking her head like, nah, you flopped. That is crazy work.
When the referee witnessed it, he did nothing but stand there. No warning, no foul, not even a response. The message was unambiguous. The referees will not shield you even if you are struck in the face.
I got fined $500 for this TikTok. I don't know why this is funny to me. Like, okay, you got it.
Sophie didn't remain silent. She spoke up. She shared the video on TikTok along with a mocking caption. Because of this TikTok, I was fined $500. I have no idea why I find this amusing. Like, all right, buddy, you got it.
Because there's not more important things to be worried about with our league right now.
Her point was very clear. At the moment, the WNBA is facing far more serious problems. But the league chose to focus on suppressing her voice instead of addressing the real issues.
Caitlin Clark, and you can tell she's talking about being mentally beat down. We also know she's physically beat down. Why does this keep happening? And look, it's not just the Fever, it's not just Caitlin. There's a bunch of players across the leagues that's been speaking out against this.
In her video, she did more than merely criticize officiating. It was a reflection of the difficulties that many players, especially those on the Indiana Fever, have had this season.
Following play, Sophie Cunningham breathes on a player, gets called for a foul. Referees were definitely not doing Sophie any favors that game and purposely ignoring, dare I say, flagrant fouls. Elbowing somebody in their shoulder, elbowing somebody in their neck, face area, yeah, that's a flagrant foul. There's no other way to slice it.
Violent play, dirty fouls, and a startling absence of official protection.
Am I shocked that an activist basketball league decided to target Sophie Cunningham? No, I'm not surprised by that. I mean, this whole league's got all of its priorities all bleeped up.
Furthermore, Sophie's punishment went beyond a simple TikTok. It has to do with control. It was intended to silence anyone who dared to question the system, particularly those who are standing up for Caitlin Clark, who has been the victim of uncalled fouls in game after game.
It doesn't seem that Cunningham will receive another fine from the WNBA for her posts and her continued criticism of the league.
Sophie did more than just express her annoyance. It was an instance of bravery, honesty, and leadership. She paid the price for speaking for everyone who is fed up with the unfair treatment. The fans, however, supported her.
Especially from social media, this and that and the other, but that's not the point. She should not be getting fined for this shit.
Comments flooded in supporting her.
Stacey Dales, who covers the NFL, has been on NFL Network forever. She's laughing her ass off about this.
Supporting comments poured in.
Sophie gets fined for TikTok, but players can bulldoze Caitlyn almost every game with no response from the league.
Her bravery was even praised by journalists, past athletes, and public leaders. Because players like Sophie become heroes when quiet is rewarded and truth is punished.
And Caitlyn, she's been through the same BS. We see the pattern, and the league better start seeing it too.
Sophie Cunningham's experience wasn't an isolated incident. It was a component of an unsettling pattern that the WNBA has been experiencing.
There's obviously, I did a video last night about Caitlin Clark, and you can tell she's talking about being mentally beat down. We also know she's physically beat down.
A tendency to penalize people who defend Caitlin Clark while ignoring those who harass her both on and off the court.
When Caitlin Clark returns, she's not getting abused and the referees are keeping their mouth shut. It's going to take somebody on the team to consistently speak out because we know damn sure the coach is too scared to get fined. Oh, you guys going to fine me again?
Caitlin Clark has endured more abuse than any other rookie in recent WNBA history. Let's face it, despite being shoved, elbowed, and slammed to the ground, she has not received any whistleblowers in game after game.
This is the game that after pushing and shoving for a jump ball, she says 2 words to the referee. The referee says, "Oh, I'll remember that." Following play, Sophie Cunningham breathes on a player, gets called for a foul. Referees were definitely not doing Sophie any favors that game.
As referees ignore egregious violations, endangering Caitlyn's career and health, fans look on in shock. Additionally, Sophie and her teammates are punished for speaking out against the unsafe officiating. Sophie was fined immediately following a game in which Olivia Nelson-Oda elbowed her in the face. A referee stood by and did nothing but watch it happen. Later, when Sophie spoke to the same referee merely twice, he said, "I'll remember that."
When last year, after Caitlin Clark got poked in the eye, dirty Dejanay Carrington and Alyssa Smith got on IG and made us mocking Caitlin Clark.
She was given a soft foul a few moments later for simply breathing on a player. That is personal retaliation, not merely bigotry. Consider this for a moment. The league that hires Sophie for a TikTok has not taken any action against players who have made fun of Caitlin Clark's injuries on the internet.
Caitlin Clark has changed the game. She changed it in college and in the WNBA.
The country has fallen in love with what we have created. And America, here's the girl next door, all grown up, Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark has captivated the nation, breaking scoring records in college and bringing women's basketball to a whole new audience.
She is a phenomenon.
Videos of opponents, including one of Caitlyn's teammates, mocking the situation after she was poked in the eye appeared on Instagram. There was not a single fine or league comment. Total quiet. Fans are sick of this double standard.
As long as Kathy Engelbert is going to play one of the 3 blind mice, they're going to keep doing it. As long as Adam Silver just ignores this crap.
The primary cause of the WNBA's enormous increase in viewership is Caitlin Clark. Millions of people watch her on screen. Ratings soar when she performs. Rather of safeguarding their most important player, the league seems more concerned with keeping her defenders quiet. And that's why Sophie's predicament is so crucial.
Man, all right, that is crazy work. They have to do better by these players. You have to protect these players, man. Protect your talent. It's as simple as that.
She did more than just criticize poor officiating. She revealed the whole system of power. She revealed that Kathy Engelbert's leadership prioritizes appearance over morality. Sophie's message extended beyond the referees. It was about defending the moral high ground. And defending Caitlin Clark is part of that. Fans further pointed out that while players bully Caitlin with no repercussions, Sophie receives a fee for using TikTok.
Sophie Cunningham is not the type who keeps her feelings to herself. The Indiana Fever star is quite outspoken, and she has no issue expressing her beliefs publicly, even if it gets her in trouble.
It is not necessary to be an expert in basketball to recognize this issue. The league is punishing those who are attempting to improve it while shielding the wrong people. Even worse, This clearly and loudly communicates a message to other players. Don't talk, or we'll come get you too.
Instead, let's find the players because they're speaking out loud. It would be different if the officiating was at least solid. I'd be like, yeah, you can't run your mouth about the referees. The officiating in this league blows chunks.
And the majority of them do. Coaches don't talk. Coworkers turn their heads away. Why? Considering that nobody wants to be the next $500 target. Nevertheless, Sophie had the courage to do it. For Caitlyn as well as for herself. One fine isn't the issue here.
Sophie Cunningham is going viral right now for a TikTok video she made.
Sophie Cunningham gets fined $500 by Kathy Engelbrain
for making this slick TikTok.
$500 is absolutely hilarious.
It concerns a regressive system in which honesty is penalized and silence is safe, where players are instructed to accept their punishment, even if it means being physically and psychologically abused. Sophie Cunningham deserves better, and so does Caitlin Clark. Because you should never be punished for standing by a teammate, especially one who is the center of attention in the league.
Sydney Colson, let's see what that looks like with Sydney and Sophie. Because we had Sydney in the starting lineup with Ari coming off the bench, but that was when Lexi Hull was in the starting lineup. So now that Lexi Hull's on the bench and Sophie's in the starting lineup, let's put Ari on the bench. And
the outcry was swift and fierce after Sophie Cunningham disclosed her $500 fine. Fan social media users were incensed worldwide, not only about the penalty, but also about what it stood for. It was no longer about a TikTok. It was about a league that dismisses people who actually hurt people and silences those who speak up. The tone was neatly encapsulated in one viral comment. While players who consistently crush Caitlin Clark each night receive nothing, Sophie receives a fine for a TikTok.
When last year, after Caitlin Clark got poked in the eye, dirty Dejanay Carrington and Alyssa Smith got on IG and made us mocking Caitlin Clark.
The sentiments of countless were reflected in that response. Fans showered Sophie with support, pointing out the WNBA's hypocrisy and offering to pay her fine. This was exacerbated by the league's inconsistency.
Sorry, not sorry. I feel like, oh, she's straight, she's white, she's a target in a league like the WNBA. From management down, that's my opinion, Kathy Engelbert. Get your league together. Adam Silver, get involved. Your appointed commissioner in the WNBA absolutely sucks. So does the referees. Do something about this.
No sanctions were imposed when opponents poked Caitlin Clark in the eye and made fun of her on social media. No formal comment, but the league takes swift, severe action whenever someone stands up for her or criticizes officiating like Sophie.
The referee that caused the whole Nneka Nwumike situation is apparently the same referee that got into it with Caitlin Clark and that Caitlin ended up chasing down the court. It's the same referee that caused the whole Nneka Nwumike situation and put his hands on JJ Quinterly. But again, I don't know if it's the same referee. Either way, if it's a different referee, both of the referees were equally as wrong. We literally saw referees put their hands on a player yesterday.
The WNBA commissioner, Kathy Engelbert, is currently facing criticism for punishing players like Sophie who support her and for not shielding players like Caitlin. Rather than demonstrating leadership, she has turned to become the spokesperson for the league's widening fan base gap. Remember that the primary reason people are watching is Caitlin Clark.
It's not something that should be allowed, but the refereeing's so bad that I encourage it. Normally I'm on the side of, refereeing's human error. Refs are humans too. They're going to make mistakes, which I stand by that point. Refs are going to make mistakes. A lot of the things when it comes to referees is purely human error.
Then, because of her, even games that she doesn't play are receiving really high ratings. For her, the fans tune in. She's taking center stage. However, it sends the incorrect message when the league permits her to be singled out in every game and penalizes those who attempt to protect her. The WNBA ought to have used this opportunity to stand by its players and let fans know that safety and justice are important to them. They decided on punishment and silence instead. They are now unable to ignore the response. The fans are keeping a tight eye on things and are not pleased. Sophie Cunningham took a stand, told the truth, and paid the consequence for standing up for what was right rather than breaking the law. And rather than punishing, the WNBA ought to encourage that. The message is clear and loud when athletes like Sophie are silenced and celebrities like Caitlin Clark are left exposed. This league is putting control over advancement, but neither we nor the fans are remaining mute. Stand with Sophie as well if you think Caitlin Clark deserves protection, respect, and a league that supports her. If you completely agree with both of these, leave a comment below. Only when we stand up and don't want to be ignored can change occur.